Okay, very good. Listen, one of our viewers across the country emailed our executive producer, Greg Todoroff, and told us about a company called ThreeD Capital. ThreeD Capital, and what's interesting is you're talking about investing, you're talking about the digital revolution, you're talking about everything going from depreciation of currencies through money printing, and then digital currency. And the guy to talk about it is Sheldon Inwentash. He is the chairman and CEO of a company, as I mentioned, called ThreeD Capital. Now, ThreeD Capital is publicly traded, by the way. It's like an ETF for ground floor investments. How do you like that?
I like that.
You know what an ETF is, exchange traded fund? Do you know what the difference between an ETF and a mutual fund is?
Well, I think an ETF is a conglomerate of
Yeah, that's just keep it there. Just keep it there. That's good. You nailed it. See, a mutual fund, if you trade a mutual fund, if you own a mutual fund, you trade it, you're stuck with the closing price.
Oh, I didn't know
If
that.
you trade an exchange-traded fund, same basket of stocks, probably a different fund manager, but it trades like a stock. You can trade it throughout the day.
Yeah.
Like GLD.
Oh, I see.
GLD would be an exchange.
Right, that's a good one.
Okay. So, by the way, their website is 3dcapital.com, but I present you Sheldon Inwentash. Sheldon, how are you, sir? Good to talk to you.
I am great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, so tell me, talk about 3D Capital. Take it from the top down, because you guys are in the right place at the right time, seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's 30 years in the making. I've been, involved in the junior markets for quite some while. Have been behind the establishment of a bunch of or a number of junior resource companies based on, I guess, previously commodity booms, as well as the disruptive technology space. So I decided to focus on a combination which I believe all fit together in what is today's world. Which is, driven by COVID in some ways, but is a digital revolution. Technology drives everything. Resources are needed to drive technology. And then there's an intersection between technology and resources, like in the battery EV market, that's all converging to this new world. And I'm a Canadian, live in Toronto, but a lot of people have kind of compared us to a junior version of ARK Investments.
Oh, no kidding.
And because all our technologies, come in at a much lower valuation. We're involved almost at the inception of many of these companies because of the track record I've had. I had a previous company, Pine Tree Capital, and basically shares, appreciated about 3,000 times or whatever it was. Went about 15 cents to $26 based on the I guess the mineral boom, resource boom, and what was in technology in the 2010 range. And then I reestablished and started ThreeD Capital, except the world is much different today.
Yeah.
And
Well, it is, and let me ask you about that, because I end up talking about, not only on my morning radio program, but on several other networks as well as Big Biz show here, about digital currency.
Yeah.
I mean, it is everywhere. I even spent a little bit of time talking about Dogecoin over our social media channels. Sully Speaks Money, but this digital currency is a bit of a digital revolution, is it not?
It's absolutely. There's two theses here. You have Bitcoin, which is probably the ultimate brand of what a crypto or digital currency is.
Yeah.
But the currency itself actually represents a smart contract. And in many cases on the blockchain serves a purpose that makes companies more efficient, eliminates the middleman. You don't have to trust who you're doing business with. There's a lot of advantages. So I like to use the word blockchain, but out of blockchain sort of evolves cryptocurrency. And in today's world, and the reason that I originally got involved in precious metals way back, I'm a chartered accountant by background, and I really identified the money printing machine. And of course, America is the king of the world in its currency. It's the international brand. But realistically, it used to be the gold standard that was behind currencies. And today, there really is not a finite way of defending what your currency is worth. And with COVID now, which exacerbates the money printing and the creation of money, digital currency is a way of, I think, protecting your assets, as well as they're very portable in that you can use them to acquire things, and that the young generations of today don't want to put their hand in their pocket and pull out a gold coin and say, look I've preserved my wealth, because nobody's going to, my kids don't even carry cash around.
Well, I mean,
So,
but keep in mind also, I mean, when you print the kind of money that we're talking about, to your point, Sheldon, and I think that's a great point, the government can only do one of three things. They can either raise taxes, which they probably will do, or they can stop spending money, which they will never do, or they're going to have to monetize this somehow. But quantitative easing is one way to do that. The other piece of this thing, though, is the blockchain, as you mentioned, is the architecture or the infrastructure by which all of these digital currencies trade on. And I think the bigger picture here, Sheldon, is that blockchain is going to change the way we do business in a lot of different areas, don't you think? I mean, it's going to eliminate.
Absolutely.
It's going to eliminate the word broker, if I'm not mistaken, at some point. Would that be accurate?
Absolutely. It's the whole idea is the middle person, whether it be a broker or a bank. A lot of people are saying, well, why do I need to rely on a bank to hold my money? Tell me when I can take it out. Tell me when I can send it to somebody. So the whole world is going into a decentralized way of people dealing with people, and with no intermediaries. So there's huge costs that are saved. And if you look at governments now, China has a digital currency that they're using.
Sure.
The UK has just announced they're going to go in this direction as well. So, I won't say the dollar bill will go the way of the dodo bird, but
well, you know what though? Listen, there's nothing to say. There's nothing to say that it won't. Listen, I want to have you back, Sheldon. Thank you so much, Sheldon Inwentash, the chairman and CEO of ThreeD Capital, publicly traded IDKFF. IDKFF is their stock symbol.